All right, well, let's move on to another controversial character,
your interview.
Sports dad LaVar Ball. All right, I went to Chino Hills yesterday, driving myself over there. It is so far away.
Wait, you have to tell before you have the interview. Natalie's car ran out of juice.
I have an electric car, and on the way back, I was sucking wind. I'm like going under 55 miles per hour to make sure that my battery, apparently if you go under 55 miles per hour, at least you burn less mileage with the battery juice. But anyway,
there's
long story
in the
short,
right lane.
I'm like, please, just let me make it home. But in an unprecedented move, LaVar pulled his son LiAngelo out of UCLA yesterday. LiAngelo is one of the 3 suspended players because they had that shoplifting incident in China last month. And I was invited to talk to them at their new home, their estate, palatial estate, as LaVar likes to call it. LiAngelo was there. Also, LaMelo was there, too. He was just in the picture with us. We didn't get to talk to him. But LiAngelo did reveal what his time was like in that Chinese jail. You spent the night in jail?
We're in jail for a day and a half or something like that.
What was that like?
Oh, it was horrible. They take your clothes, you wear like whatever they have for you, a little jumpsuit or whatever, take your shoestrings, and then you just sit in a cement cell for however long, and they just kept dropping off water.
Were you, Cody, and Jalen all in the same cell?
No, we were split up. So it's just you and then all the officers. And they don't speak English, so that just made it harder for us, too.
And were you able to be in contact with your dad?
No, they didn't let me call him when I was in there.
So it was just you kind of by yourself in there dealing with what you were dealing with?
And then they pulled me out to get interrogated and then put me back in there.
And the interrogation, I mean, what did they ask you?
That was like 2 hours. They asked me everything, like what time was it, where were you at, who were you with, stuff like that.
How hard was that to go through that?
Well, it was hard for me because it made it really hard because I didn't know what they were really saying. Because even my, what's that called?
Interpreter?
Yeah, my interpreter, like she didn't even speak English too well, so I had to like really focus on what they was asking me.
Was he remorseful?
I will say he's very remorseful. He has a lot of regrets. I mean, he said it was a stupid thing. He realized the minute he stepped foot out of the mall, he was like, what have I done? That was stupid. And then he got back, and sure enough, the next morning the police showed up, and he was like, uh-oh. And it created an international incident. I mean, President Trump had to intervene. He called President Xi Jinping, and that's how the release apparently happened, although LaVar has his own version of events. He believes, I have people in China, I make the call, and the people in China, my friends in China, are the ones who got him released. That's how LaVar sees it.
What about as a parent? Like, what does LaVar think about his son?
You know, and I asked him that. I'm like, what was that father-son conversation like, you know, the day after your son is back? And he was like, listen, he's like, what am I going to do, scold my kid? He's already been through the worst moment in his life right now. He realized he did something stupid. And as a parent, it's like, I don't need to tell him that, but now you got to live with what you did. And, you know, every kid will make a dumb mistake when you're 18 years old. And he's like, listen, my other 2 sons, they've made their dumb mistakes. He's the only kid who hadn't made a dumb mistake yet. I was waiting for something. It just so happened that this one happened to be in China, where the consequences of your action are very severe. Shoplifting can be a 5 to 10 year penalty in prison. Interesting, though, we got into the whole Twitter feud between LaVar and Trump. And, you know, we remember that Trump tweeted that LaVar was an ungrateful fool, and it escalated. It was crazy.
But LaVar loves this just as much as President Trump. Yeah. I feel like when you put the 2 of them together,
they're the same person in a way.
They love this. They know exactly how to stir the pot and sort of be provocative.
They're the same person, to the point where LaVar is even talking about building a ballerplex, a hotel.
So where were you in that shot? That looks like a giant fire.
That's their brand new home, which they're just moving into. But I was going to say, the funniest part of the interview, he's like, I'm not saying thank you to President Trump. He's still, to this day, he's like, I'm not going to thank him. But he said, he's like, I did send him a pair of my Baller brand shoes. I sent him 3 pair, red, white, and blue, to show him I'm patriotic. So.
I can't wait to see the interview. So what's going to happen? Like, what happens now if you're pulled out of UCLA? Can you go pro? Like,
well, that's the thing. I asked him, like, what's your fallback plan? I mean, if you don't play college ball, how do you expect to get to the NBA?
One's out of high school now, one's out of college.
He's like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it the Baller way. He's like, this is what we do. He's like, I train him. I'm going to, you know, we're working back here. We're training him. He doesn't need to play college basketball, he says. Although, I mean, listen, at UCLA, I mean, the question was he even good enough to be a starter on the team? I think there are people who are saying, including our EP, who's like, not good enough.
Rob, stop yelling in our ear. We got this. We're talking
you think he wasn't good enough.
It is going to be interesting to see what happens. We always say
he wants all 3 boys to be on the Lakers someday. And he's like, listen, they don't need to get paid a lot of money, because he's like, that's the difference. He's like, my boys just playing together, that's all they're asking for. They just want the opportunity to play.
Like, I wonder what's going to happen.
We'll see.